Mildred Gillars was an all-American girl who was convicted of treason. During World War II, American troops called her Axis Sally. She broadcast propaganda for the Nazis. Author Richard Lucas is here to tell us more about her story and his book, Axis Sally, the American voice of Nazi Germany. Richard, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
In a way, this book of yours exists because Axis Sally seduced you, in a sense, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. About 7 years ago, I heard her broadcast, and I noticed what a skilled broadcaster she was, and also that there was more to the story, that there were actually two Axis Sallys. One, Mildred Gillars, who was from Ohio and went to Germany in 1934, and Rita Zucca, who was a New Yorker, the daughter of a restaurateur who had a place up on West 49th Street. And after 7 years, this is the result of my research.
So when you were just kind of cruising the web, you were on a website that, that had these old radio broadcasts, and you heard one of the broadcasts. What was the content of that broadcast, the first one you heard, that really got your attention?
The first one that I heard was was to women in America, trying to convince the women to give up the fight against the Nazis. She would broadcast not just to the soldiers on the front line, but she would broadcast also to ladies at home and try to get American public opinion.
And she spotted a lot of anti-Semitic.
Yes, she did. Towards 1943, 1944, she was under the influence of her lover, Otto Koischwitz, who was a former Hunter College professor. And he really wrote the scripts and pushed her towards anti-American, anti-Semitic propaganda.
Why do you think she did that? How did an all-American girl from Ohio end up in Berlin broadcasting for the Nazis?
The Great Depression came in 1929. She was a failed actress who tried her hand at Broadway. She had a relationship with a British and Jewish man. She followed him to Algiers, and the relationship cooled, and without a job and without a future, she ended up in Germany just by chance. It was 1934, and she started to find work, and she decided to remain when she became involved with a German citizen.
Now, after the war, after Germany surrendered, she was arrested. She was brought back to this country, tried, convicted of treason, spent 12 years in prison.
Yes.
When she was released, she went back to Ohio, went into a nunnery, correct?
That's correct. She was a teacher. She taught music for a convent school at Our Lady of Bethlehem in Columbus. And she was a very good teacher, and she went through a real religious conversion during her time in prison.
Was she accepted by society here?
She lived a very private life, and her family paid a great price for her acts. But she was never accepted.
Yeah, thank you for coming in and sharing a bit of this book. It's a fascinating story. This is the first time anybody's written a nonfiction book about Axis Sally.
That's true.
It's a must-read.
Thank you.
Coming up, what you don't see may hurt you. The loophole of the city's restaurant grading system that could let some unclean offenders get away without posting a failing grade.
It's the subscription that everybody's talking about, now half price.
I think it was the Sunday style that brought us together.
I think it was a weekend review. Getting the times delivered for me, well, that's really the best part of the weekend. That's why I love The Weekender.
The depth and breadth of reporting, the insight.
Start your weekend off early, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, just half price. With exclusive New York coverage no other paper in the city can deliver.
How many sections are you fluent in?
I'm fluent in 3 sections, actually. Business, travel, the book review.
Sunday styles.
You call the toll-free number and you save 50%.
He likes a deal.
I do.
I just went to Spain and the travel section helped me plan my trip.
So you call the 800 number and you save 50%.
50% off home delivery. Can't beat that.
The best journalists in the world work for the Times, and there's no debating that.
So call now. Get the conversation going.
Get The Weekender for as low as $3.80 a week. Call 1-800-357-4817 and join a great conversation.
I'll trade you the magazine for the book review.
Deal.
If you have been implanted with an inferior vena cava filter to stop blood clots, please pay attention to this important message. According to an FDA warning, IVC filters made by Bard have splintered, causing shards of the device to move through the bloodstream, causing punctured blood vessels, organ damage, pulmonary embolism, and even death. If you or someone you love have a Bard IVC filter implant and suffered any complications, call Davis & Crump now. Operators are standing by.
I know that some New Yorkers can't afford food.
How many people are we talking about here?
5, 6, 10,000, 15,000,
20,000?
30,000.
No one should go hungry in New York.
Stop.
Stop. Stop. Hunger.
Now.
New York City's new restaurant grading system is supposed to give consumers a simple signal as to how clean a kitchen is. The health department's also been forcing eateries to post letter grades since this summer. But as Chris Glorioso finds out, the bad grades are slow to go up.
If you have walked by a New York City restaurant anytime lately, you have probably seen one of these, a placard with a grade from the health department. It's supposed to tell you how sanitary a restaurant is. An A is the best grade, a B is the middle grade, and, well, a C is the worst grade. But these days, C's are hard to find.
The ones that I've seen are mostly A's and B's. I really haven't seen any low grades.
A review of about 650 Manhattan restaurants, all with enough health code violations to earn a score worse than a B, shows 88% of those eateries have not been forced by the city to post their C grade. The reason may be a lengthy appeals and reinspection process. This is video inside the health department's administrative tribunal. Security guards tried to keep us out, but here, every day, restaurant owners pack the room asking judges to reduce their health violations so they can get a better grade. Restaurateurs say the appeals and re-inspections can drag on for 3 to 5 months. All the while, restaurants with enough health code violations to earn them that C grade get to post a sign like this that says grade pending.
This whole letter grade stuff only started in late July. We're only 5 months into it. That's why you're seeing mostly A's up there, because the people who have B's and C's are fighting it.
Robert Bookman represents hundreds of restaurants trying to reduce their fines for sanitary violations. He says the A, B, C grading system is misleading because by the time the city asks a restaurant owner to post a low grade, it's almost time for a new inspection.
This is a gimmicky kind of methodology which doesn't work, and it's becoming very clear to even the casual observers that it doesn't work.
The health department couldn't say just how long the appeals process is for restaurants that score poorly on inspections. We don't know the average time it takes for a restaurant to go through a tribunal because there are so many factors, said spokesperson Aaron Hughes.
I don't know. This is a little specious, this whole system. I liked it better when the Roach Report was published in the newspapers in the old days.
By the way, if you think the worst performing restaurants are always the hole-in-the-wall diners that you've never heard of, think again. This health department database has some